So this is Woody. We're out here at Wyndell's car. Been kind of tinkering around on it, and we decided that we're gonna paint this black. I was gonna have to do something with it anyway, because I screwed up when I was painting it. And it's not covered here anyway, so I was gonna have to do something with it anyway. He discussed at one time maybe putting chrome on it. And I suggested doing something black and kind of tie it all in with the glass and everything. It wouldn't wouldn't make these stand out so much. So he kind of said, yeah, we're gonna do that. So I'm gonna mask this off and do a little sand on it and throw some plastic on it and everything, and then we're gonna paint it like a semi-gloss, kind of like what he did to the hood the other day. Kind of detailed it out a little bit. I thought this really looked good. Kind of gave it a little bit of a different look, so it won't be so just orange underneath there. Kind of give it a little bit of a detail. So give me a little bit. I'm gonna mask this thing up, and we'll get some color on it. Oh, hey, Wyndell.
Hey.
So I made a little video a little bit ago. So this is what we're doing. Painting all this stuff black. Wyndell got here in time to decide to do a little bit of something different, which is a better idea, actually. So the whole top of this frame will be black. So when you're inside, it will not have a shade of orange. It'll be all black, and it'll look a lot better. We decided to black this out while we're here. Not sure what goes back there exactly, but we wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be orange when it shouldn't have been orange or gray or whatever. So that is, we're all taped up and ready to go. I'm going to do a quick wipe down on it, and I'm going to paint her black. All right, so just got done spraying. It's a little shinier than what it will be when it finally dries out all the way. It's got a flattener in the clear. But we get it all untaped, you'll be able to actually see more of what we were looking for. Sprayed all that out, but like I said, it came out all right for spraying in a barn. There's not any giant bugs stuck in it yet, so that's a good thing. Wyndell made a good call on doing the whole door frame, because that's going to look a lot better and a lot cleaner when it's all said and done and put together. Next step, I think we're gonna take it to my house, and I'm gonna sand and polish on it. And you know how much I love to sand and polish. All right, so what are the times got Wyndell's car out here at my house. We're going to do some wet sand and polishing on it. Before we do that, I have a little issue right here that I'm going to show you. We had the hood off, do some detail work underneath the hood. I went back and kind of touched up some of the jams and everything, had some tape lines in that I wasn't real happy with. So did that. So in the process, we had the hood off, had a blanket down on one of our folding benches. I had the hood upside down. Somewhere along the line, it got a little mark in it, and it went down to the sealer. And I sanded on it a little bit ago to see, I was hoping it was just something on top, and it is not. So I'm going to do some trickery. I'm going to sand it with some 600 and smooth it down a little bit, and then I'm going to touch it up and let it dry, and then touch it up again, and then hopefully I can just sand it and polish it, and it won't be as noticeable. So I'm trying to get it so he can get it put together and drive it a little bit before the weather turns crap. We're in Missouri, so it can snow by the end of September. You never know what's going to happen around here. So he's kind of waiting on me to get it sanded and polished so he can finish putting everything together. Probably going to hold off on the interior until winter time until the guy can break loose. So I'm going to do a little touch-up job on this, smooth it up the best I can, make it look like it's not as noticeable. And then in the wintertime, we'll probably end up pulling the hood off and fixing it the correct way if it doesn't look very good. So keep an eye on this, see what happens. Like I said, I took a razor blade to this when he dropped it off the other day, because I really thought it was something on top. And as soon as I started taking the blade to it, I realized that it went all the way down into the sealer. So, like I said, we're gonna hit it with some 600 and try to smooth it up the best I can. So it's still got an indention in it. I'm gonna touch it up so it'll be built up, and then I will end up sanding it back down and trying to smooth it down, and then when I polish everything, it won't stand out as much. And this is just the base coat that we had for it. I didn't do anything fancy. I didn't put any hardener or anything in it. Not putting any clear or anything in it. So I'm gonna touch it up, let it flash off real good. I'll probably blob it on again while I'm blocking on the rest of it. So like I said, I'll let this dry until it flashes off completely, and then I will touch it up again because I'm sure it's not going to be completely covered. But there's plenty of clear around there, so I can sand on it without going through it. I mean, worst case scenario, I may end up having to do a little spot in job on it, but we'll hope for the best. All right, so I am just kind of doing a light block with 600 to knock down some of the rougher orange peel. I wouldn't recommend this clear to doing all over again. I'm a little disappointed. It shrunk back quite a bit. So to save myself a lot of time sanding, I'm going a little bit rougher grit. But I'm not going to get super carried away. It's at 600. I'll go back over 1,000 grit with the block. And I haven't decided if I'm going to go 1,500 wet or if I'm just going to go straight to the DA and 2,000. Haven't decided. This thing's been sitting. When did I paint this? It's in a good month, not longer. So it's good to set up. It had 3 really good coats of clear. So you get the idea. So not super worried about getting every piece of dirt or anything out. I'm just keeping it nice and flat, blocking out the bigger orange peel for now. Like I said, I'll do this to the whole car, and then I'll go back over with 1000 grit, and then we'll get to start polishing. But there you go. All right, it's Woody. The other day, I told you I was going to do a little touch-up job on the hood and see if I could salvage it without having to paint it, at least until winter time. So I got it. I touched it up 3 different times on a couple nights ago, so it's a nice blob right now. I'm going to sand on it with some 600 dry, so I'm going to block it. Of course, it's on a curve, so I got to be a little bit more cautious. So I kind of got a flexible block. I do it dry so I can pay attention to what's happening around it. I don't want to take a chance of cutting through. It's got 3 coats of really good clear on it, but there's still a chance that with 600 grit you can cut through it by the time I sand on it long enough. Worst case scenario, I'm going to end up painting the hood, so I polish the rest of the car. I'd get it back to Wyndell. I'd pull the hood off, take it to work, paint it, and polish it, get it back on. But anyway, I'm going to block sand on it a little bit, try to get this thing smoothed up a little bit, and then I'll sand the rest of the hood and polish it out, and hopefully nobody will ever notice. See that blob right there? So like I said, I put 2 coats of touched it up 2 different times and let it dry real good in between coats, and then the 3rd coat I just kind of basically just globbed it on there, knowing that I'm going to sand all that off. I wanted to make sure that the chip areas, there was 2 different ones, I was going to make sure that they were good and filled up so I can sand it down and polish it. So hang tight, see if we can get something done. So base coat is considerably softer than clear, so it should sand down a lot easier and not damage the clear around it. Like I said, I'm just trying to smooth it up. I don't expect it to be perfect, but I want it to look a little bit better so it's not so noticeable. At least we can get him back on the road so we can enjoy it a little bit before the snow starts flying. And that looks like shit. I'm gonna have to touch that up again to see if I can even salvage a little bit of it. Yep, we're painting that. Oh well. We'll move on to sanding and polishing the rest of it, and we'll pull that hood off, and I'll take it to work and paint it. All right, out here working on Wyndell's car again. Everything down the side, I kind of block sanded with some 600, kind of quick and light, trying to knock down the orange peel, any bigger chunks of dirt or whatever. Kind of block sanding. There was a kind of little scratch in the quarter panel that I was trying to get rid of. Then the other night I 1500 wet the roof and the deck lid and sail panels. So now I'm just going to sand the sides with 1500 wet. And I'm going to go back over some 2000, like a little bit lower on the bottom. The hood had a little incident with the, we still don't know what hit it, whatever, doesn't matter. I tried touching it up, broke through it, so I'm just going to respray the hood. It's going to be a lot easier that way. No big deal. So I'm going to concentrate on the car, get it polished, cleaned up, send it back over to Wyndell. I'll take the hood to work while he's busy putting everything else together. Trying to get it on the road so he can play with it a little bit before the snow starts flying. We've got Front Yard Nationals coming up in October. So kind of wanted to make sure that we could get it there and it actually looked presentable. Because the way it looked, I wasn't really happy with it, and I didn't want to put my name on it with everybody else seeing it. So anyway, I'm going to do some sanding. Okay, so working with the 8000 Trizac right now. So you do it wet. I've 2000 D8 everything. I blew it all off, made sure everything was good. So this is just mainly to save a little bit of time compounding. So spritz it all down with some water, sand over it. I said I'd done the roof and the deck lid already. I always start at the top and work my way down. Like you may be able to see here, this is from where the hose was just kind of flopping around on it when I was sanding. Even though I flop it over my shoulder, the hose still goes wherever. I do the same thing when I'm polishing. I always work from top to bottom. That way, as you're coming down, you can see if you have marks like that that you need to worry about. So I'm going to sand both sides with this. I will dry it all down, and then it'll be time to start compounding. My absolute worst thing I like to do when it comes to doing this type of stuff. Okay, so everything's sanded. We got 8000 Trizac over everything, wiped it all down. Haven't seen anything that is going to be a problem. There's a pinhole or two down on this side down low that I can't really do anything about now, but unless I point it out, ain't nobody ever gonna see it. So we're gonna continue on. So I'm getting ready to start compounding. I'm gonna start on the roof. I'm gonna do the roof and the deck lid first, and then I'll start down the sides. I have about 5 hours in sanding this thing as of right now, between blocking it down with 600 and then working my way up from there. If you spend good time doing your sanding, you will spend less time polishing, and to me, running the wheel is the absolute worst for me. It hurts my back. I'm getting old. I can't stand this crap anymore. But anyway, it makes it a lot easier if the smoother grit that you're using to finish sanding with, you spend less time running the wheel. The compounding part is the absolute, the most time consuming part of it, because you know you're trying to get all the scratches out and everything. So if you've sanded it really well and made sure you know not leaving any hard scratches in it, normally it goes pretty easy. So like I said, I'm pretty confident that we're going to be all right. Like I said, I got 5 hours or so in the sanding process. Probably going to have another 10 in it by the time we compound it. Got 3 steps: compound, machine glaze, and then even on a lighter colored car, I'll still use the there's like a blue that it takes. It's kind of more of like a hand glaze. You put it on with a wheel and then you wipe it off. You kind of leave it kind of greasy looking. It seems like it helps quite a bit with swirl marks. So anyway, I'm gonna get sanding or get polishing. So that was about 7 minutes of working a quarter of a roof. So multiply that by the rest of this car. You can see how long this is gonna take. I'm not gonna bore you with all the compounding part of it. Whenever I'm done compounding, I'll take another video and kind of show you where we're at. It's just a time consuming process, so that's just part of the deal. When you want one nice, this is what you gotta go through. All right, spent probably 4 hours last night compounding both sides of this thing. All the compounding's done, so I'm gonna do some foam pad glaze, a machine glaze that kind of gets all the scuffs, the harsher scratches that the compound would still leave in it, and then I'll follow it up with a swirl mark remover. So I'm gonna do all that, and like I said, the compound part of it takes the absolute longest. Everything else isn't so bad, so I spent probably 2 or 3 hours tonight and have it done other than the hood. Kevin's gonna come by here later on and help me pull the hood off of it so Wyndell can come pick it up sometime in the next couple days. I'm gonna be out of town on a bike ride, so Wyndell's gonna be able to start putting this thing together while I'm gone, and then I'll finish up the hood. So anyway, we'll do a little walk around and show you what I got. So, like I said, it came out really well. I'm very happy with what Wyndell did. Like I said, he has the only training he's ever had is just what Kevin and I have done, showed him, and he's picked up a lot of stuff. So it is pretty damn straight for what he started out with and what it is now. So he wasn't so worried. He didn't necessarily want a show car, but there ain't no reason why he can't take this thing to a show and be very proud of it. So like I said, so it's still, you can see some swirls and stuff in it. That's normal. So we're gonna get all that stuff out of it, and like I said, we're gonna get boogieing along on it, and hopefully by the end of the night, we'll be ready to go. Okay, so I've got the machine glaze all done. Made sure all the scratches were out and everything looked good. So I'm on to step 3, which is normally for dark cars. It's like a swirl mark remover type thing. You put it on like almost like a glaze, so you don't work it all the way in. You just kind of put it on and kind of leave it kind of greasy feeling. I've done the roof already. I'm gonna do the deck lid and the rest of the car. So everything's looking good. Here we go. You're supposed to put this stuff on like really, really slow, but this polisher is like ancient and it only goes down to 1,000 RPM. The one I have at work goes down to 600 RPM, and that's what I normally put it on at, but we'll do the best we can. I'll do the other side and then I'll wipe it off and I'll show you the finished product. Well, there she is in the sun. I'm gonna give it a little quick bath before Wyndell comes to pick it up. We got the hood off of it the other night. But Wyndell should be pretty proud of himself because it looks pretty damn straight. I'm excited to see it all put together. What you doing, puppy dog?